คุณครับ All right, so we've got our drinks. You got the prettier one than I got. But we got JC and Matt here. This is actually our Life and Costs in Isaan Part 8, I think. And guess what? Unai, where are we? Cham. We're not even in Isaan. You're probably saying, JC, how can you do Part 8 of an Isaan series and not be in Isaan? Well, I want to answer some questions that were posed to us through the 7 parts of the series on Isaan. And some of these Nat can probably help us with. So she's here too to help me out if I can't answer some of these questions. But we got a few questions I want to address here regarding that whole series and about building the house and living in Isaan, stuff like that. Chop Isaan Mai? You like Isaan? Sure. Tamai. Why?
My home.
Yeah, your home. That's right. Can you live there all the time?
No.
Good answer. So anyway, we'll go through a list of these questions and see what we can come up with. Chris Mandre asked a question, what is the religious life in the countryside? Can foreigners go to any Buddhist temple without having to be worried about being turned away because of a language barrier? Well, we'll ask that. Frong Bai Wat Dai Mai?
Dai.
Yeah. I asked her, can foreigners go to a what? She says, can go, die. But any okay, my poop pasa Thai is okay because they don't speak Thai language.
Okay, everybody can.
Everybody can go to the what, right? Yeah, it's not. That would be sort of be anti-Buddhist, wouldn't it? It'd say, oh, you can't be here. You don't speak Thai. No, they'll welcome anybody. I actually like to go to the wat. You can go to the wat and get blessed by the monk. Tambun, give an offering. He'll put the little things on your wrist that are blessed. The little bracelet. Yeah, and they'll toss some water on top of you while he's doing the blessing. All that's cool. I actually like to go for meditation because it's quiet, and I think the pheromones in the air from all the people coming and the monks being there and everything are conducive to relaxation and being in a good place. So that's what I like. But yeah, you can go. You won't be turned away. You'll never be turned away from what. You could actually go if you didn't have a place to sleep.
Yeah.
For shower, you could actually go there and then just put a little donation, right?
And food, have a food too.
You can eat there too. There you go. Number 2, Neil in Thailand asked how much to build the house. When we finish the house, any Panset finish the house, Raka Tarai. 400,000, 400,000, which comes to about 12,000 US dollars. And I actually put that as a overlay on the last video because I don't even think I said it in the video, but I did put it as an overlay. And that included everything, including my rent, which ended up being 3 months at Hong Chow Raka Tarai.
6,000 baht for a month.
6,000 baht per month, and 3 months, 18,000, and you can figure up it's about 34 baht to a $1, and so you could divide it by 34 and you get but that included any extraneous expenses of a Nat eating Swenson's ice cream or something, all thrown into that, you know? The kids eating DQ, Dairy Queen ice cream. So anyway, for the house. Now, also in my member site, our members asked about how much it would have been to have, because we already had TImyT kitchen and Hangnam. We had the 2 outbuildings already, the kitchen and the bathroom already built. to have added those on, I think it would have been probably another 100,000 baht around that, maybe less because they would share a wall with the house, and so maybe even less than that. So you're figuring 500,000 now. They already had the land, Midin land, right? Yeah, already had the land, and so if you were going to do this and you didn't have land, you'd have to include the cost of the land as well. These housing projects are in subdivisions, and so the land comes with it, and you can get a house, even a 2-story house. It's small footprint, but 2 stories, which is 2 bedroom, 2 bath, I think, for about, outside of Chiang Mai now, still for 2.2 million baht. So keep all that in mind. That's about what it costs. Number 3, SK8 Guitar Drums was his channel name on YouTube. Are there laws about building your own place? Is your skilled and experience not fully comprehending the question? Are there any laws about building? I think that what I interpret that to be as regulations. And in cities there are regulations. For electrical, everything's got to be grounded and things like that. Now, out in the village, not so much. You basically build the house. If it falls on you, you suffer the consequences. If you get electrically shocked, you suffer the consequences. It's sort of like, God forbid, take responsibility for what you do. What a concept, huh? And so, if you were a skilled and experienced construction worker, maybe this was in part of that question as well. Could you build your own house? The answer to that would be no. And that would be because of Thai labor laws. And you'd have to have a work permit. And if you had a work permit, you'd have to be hired by a company or create your own company. Thai people have to be employed. They have to earn a certain amount. To get your work permit, you'd have to earn a certain amount of money. So you would have to do that. Now, around the city, that would be a big issue. You could get reported very easily. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you sort of built it in your spare time and stuff, you could probably get away with a lot. I would suggest hiring Thai workers and keep all your neighbors happy with some Sư Lao Hai Pun Ban, buy whiskey and give your neighbors. And they won't say anything about you building your house. Just, further you are away from the city, the less issue this thing about work permits and stuff is, and the more you can get away with, more flexibility. But by law, the way the law is written, you can't build your own house. You're taking jobs from Thai people. Number 4, Kona Allen asks, can you tell me where the guest house is with the mini fridge? If the criteria is the duyan, the refrigerator, nowadays almost every guest house we stop at have a small duyan leg. Yeah, almost everything. Everybody now has small refrigerators in guest houses. Especially if you're going to rent long term, there'll be one. Where we actually stayed, the one you actually saw me staying in, was actually in a little town called Nong Hong. Rong Ram Churai.
I Un Lak.
Huh?
I Un Lak.
I Un Lak is the name of that. So there you go. But yeah, if you're looking for a mini fridge, they almost all have them now. They have free Wi-Fi mini fridge. Even a lot of them now have, like in high-end hotels in America, you have the soap and the shampoo and a little shower cap. Even cotton buds, we call Q-tips in America for cleaning yours. They have all those little accoutrements in all these places now that you rent. Let's see, next question. Daniel Jackson asks, I'm a veteran moving to Bangkok. Can you give me some ins and outs of Bangkok? I'll give you the outs of Bangkok. Get out! Chop by Grunthep, mind? Do you like going to Bangkok? Yeah, we don't really spend hardly any time in Bangkok. And the reason is the same reasons I say, don't live in places that I call my no-fly zones. ไม่ชอบอะไร What do you not like?
ไม่ชอบรถติด
รถติด is traffic jams. อะไร What else? คนใจดีไหม Are the people good heart?
not sure.
Not sure. คงพูดกับ how do you say stranger?
อันตรายเหรอไม่รู้จัก
No, not enter. Yeah, ไม่รู้จัก คงพูด
ไม่พูด
Yeah, it's the same as any big city. I can probably draw the line right there and say it's the same as any big city. Are people a little more friendly than, say, in the West? Probably. But you get on BTS, people don't speak to each other. Everybody looks at their phone and stuff. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. It's going to be a little bit more dangerous. So it's harder to, if you're going to stay there, though, the ins and outs would be if you're going to live there full-time, find someplace near mass transit, which is getting to be more and more. They're expanding all these lines of the sky trains and underground rail and all this stuff. They're expanding all those lines. So keep that in mind, because if you can find cheap rent, but you have a big problem getting to the mass transit, which if I don't hit mass transit to get where I'm going, I don't go. Stay off the surface road. Stay off the road. Tanon mi rotit mai. Yeah, Bangkok's one of the worst places in the world for traffic jams. And while you're in that traffic, you're sucking up the pollution. You're paying more money for everything. So that's the ins and outs of Bangkok. For me, it's an out. We do enjoy going there. How's the song go? Wrong playing? By Gruntet?
Oh, One Night in Bangkok.
We sort of stick to that One Night in Bangkok. In fact, I had some visa stuff I needed to do. And we were there, and you'll see the videos coming up soon. And some guy, harassed me on YouTube. You know, I don't want to say bad things about people. I don't know how people get their needs met, you know, but they don't get them met through positive behavior. Some guy says, I'm a phony, I'm a fake. They saw me near Nana, which is, I don't know how many blocks away from one of the entertainment areas, and something I was supporting some mob and going to some, I don't know. He read into a whole story about my life because he saw me at near this Nana station, which is actually where I always stay in that area since I've been coming for 17 years. In fact, one of the places I just stayed, I hadn't stayed in a long time. I won't mention the name. I don't want them to get mad at me. But we stayed in the hotel and it was beat there now. But anyway, because it's so close to BTS, you can get off. It's easy to get from the airport there. It's only one stop away from the embassy, my embassy, the shopping malls. Everything's located there, but it's got food on the streets. It's just got everything right there. But anyway, that's where we stay when we go. And no, we didn't. Did we go to the bars? No, we don't go to the bars. Why do I need to go to the bar? I got the best thing happening right here next to me. And I'm blessed, I can tell you that. Next question from Charles Moore. Without a Thai wife, can I build a house? I can't build a house, right? Charles, wrong. You can build a house, and you can own your house. Now, the caveat to that is you can't own the land that the house is on. And that would have to be owned by a corporation, Thai corporation, which you can be, a managing director and own 49% of that company, or it can be in the land can be in the name of a Thai person. Now, having said all that, in my member site, I have a complete, posting about how to do this, that you could actually stay on land that had your house on it. And the way to do that is long-term lease and right of superficie, which is a document that's attached to the land deed and recorded in the land office, which means no matter who owns the land, if it transfers to other ownership or everything, that lease that you have will remain intact no matter what. And so that's the way to do that. So you can own your own house, and it'll be in your name. You just won't own the property that's on, but there is a way to protect yourself up to a certain point. You get to really corrupt areas. These, again, my no-fly zones. You could have that land taken out from under you, even with that right of superficie. If somebody fudged your signature and documents through illegal means to show that you gave back your right, that would be how you would lose it. But yes, you can own your house, Charles. Good news, huh? Next question from William Lundstrom. I've been watching the exchange rates. It's now very close to 33 to 1. It's been dropping recently. Are you getting better rates? I get the same rates everybody else does. And so there's no difference in that. But what I would suggest to you, a little strategy, is and I have a listing in the posting site, how to do a transfer step by step from your bank in your home country, and this applies to certain countries, not all countries, where you can do a automated clearinghouse transfer directly into your Thai Bangkok bank account here. And what I suggest is the way, if you look at a chart of exchange rates between your currency and Thai baht, you'll see they channel just like a stock. They go up and down, and they bounce between highs and lows. And what I would suggest is you watch the chart and find out what the average high is, where it always peaks out. And when the exchange gets to the best that it usually gets to, now it could break out, but the chances of that would be probably pretty slim, is transfer the money at that time so you're guaranteed to get the best rate. People that are using ATM machines to bring money over intermittently and when they need it are subject to these fluctuations in exchange. I know people that through time, Russian ruble has taken a hit, the UK pound has taken a hit, the Australian dollar has taken a hit, and then they're suffering during those times. Of course, usually it'll bounce around and come back and stuff like that, but you want to get the highest exchange rate. That's the strategy that I suggest doing. Pierre asks, renting a house or condo in Isaan is very difficult. Isaan me condo mai? Does Isaan have condos? My hand, she hasn't seen any. It was very difficult to get a condominium in Isaan. Except, Konkan would have them. Udon Thani, Korat, the bigger cities would have condominiums. But you get out in the villages away from cities, you're not going to find them. Ciao, Bandama. In Isaan? She says you can rent houses in Isaan. So you could rent a house there. Any good advice would be welcome. House builders is my big issue. I know about all the regulations surrounding the ownership of land. Well, we just addressed the ownership of land. You can't own the land, but you can own that building. I'm going forward with this project. Do you have any good information on your website? Yeah, on the website we have this about land ownership, right of superficie, all these different issues. Finding the best house builder, the same strategy applies to finding the best of really anything, whether it's getting your motorbike repaired or your computer repaired. Ask around, find people that have good experiences with a business or a person and use them. That's what we did. We went around and looked for houses that were being built. They looked good. Asked other people, have they built the house, and went and talked to people about the builders and stuff, and then came up with them. And you see, we still went through we had 3 sets of builders. So it's not foolproof, but works pretty good, especially with motorbikes and computers and stuff. Word of mouth is the best. Caesar Leon Aurelius Caesar. Sure would love a complete rundown on prices and labor and legal stuff. Well, there was no legal stuff, really. And I gave you the prices of which included labor and materials. And what we did is we said we'll buy the materials. This way nobody's upselling us on the price of the materials. And that we just negotiated the price of the labor to do specific points. In other words, build up to this point, do the framing of the roof with the metal, and pour the foundation, put the supports, and pour the foundation and all that at this price. And then the next step and the next step. So you can always stop and pay them up to a certain point and get a new crew or whatever you have to do. So that's my suggestion on doing that. And that way you don't encounter problems. And always, if you're not getting the work done that you want, pay them up to the point you want. If they don't agree on how much that is, just try and negotiate it. Don't get the law involved and all these other things. The money isn't worth the hassle. Just give them a little extra and let them walk away, and that way you won't have any issues. And then start with a new crew from the point you're at. Tom in Tokyo. Just out of curiosity, what the Thais call that odd-looking tractor contraption you have at the beginning of that video. I forget which video that was, the third video or something. And I asked Nat this, and she said it was rot itan. Itan. Rot itan. The big one is the rot itan. And it's funny because these don't have automobile engines. They have like glorified lawnmower engines. They're bigger 4-stroke engines, but they don't have carburetions that run. It's not hooked into the vehicle. It's basically hooked up to a drive shaft or whatever. And how do they sound? I don't know. What was that?
Sound, the big guy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the exhaust. They're like straight pipes on those things.
Some people call it tuk tuk.
Yeah. And how about the ones that they sit on that are long with the motor?
Iten.
Isaan?
Itak.
Itak? Yeah, she's got the good sound effects here. And those are real interesting because you see them, you said, well, what's the deal with that? I've seen them used for transportation, getting around by Tiao, on some pump.
Yes.
They hooked a belt onto that engine, same engine, and a pipe, and it pumps water from one area of the rice field to another area. Like if they got to go across a road or something, they put the pipe and pump the water. So they pump water with those. They used it for electricity. As a generator, because we were off the grid, and they used it to generate electricity. Running a generator. What else do they do with those things? They're utilitarian vehicles. They're amazing. Plus, they don't go around fast, but you can get around on them. Yeah. Same like riding a buffalo. And one of them they actually call the Iron Buffalo, because they took the work of the buffalo. So, MDM channel asks any golf courses in Isaan? Yeah, there's a lot of golf courses in Isaan. Golf is big. If you got money, there's some really nice golf courses. If you don't have money, then you need to go to a public golf course or a military golf course. But yeah, we have golf courses all over. I wish I had time to play. I should change that. I wish I had time to learn golf. If I went back to playing golf, Matt and I would be on that same level. Same guy asked, does chewing on betel nut make you high? Betel nut, what's the Thai word for betel nut that the people put?
Oh, mạcเหรอ
Mak?
Mạc.
The name? Chewอะไร?
Mạc.
Mak. กินหมาก ใช่ไหม?
กินหมาก
And they don't, do they swallow it?
No, that's เคี้ยว
They spit it out.
Yeah.
But their mouth, bak dang, their mouth is red.
อันนี้ใส่ปูนแดง วิเคราะห์ปูนแดง ปูนขาวแล้วก็
They put salt? What do they put? The leaf?
The leaf, yeah, put in the leaf, put หมาก
The betel nut?
And put the ปูนสีแดง
Oh, the
first.
seedang is not the fruit, not the nut.
No,
It's something else they put in.
วิเคราะห์ปูนแดง ปูนสีขาว
Okay.
Put on the leaf and put หมากแล้ว
Any salt or anything? No.
No, the put in สำหรับสโมกด้วยอ่ะ
Tobacco?
Some people put low.
Koi Tamai, have you tried this?
No, my uncle.
Your uncle does.
ไม่ใช่ uncle, grandmother, grandmom.
Grandma. Do you think it tastes good?
No.
No. Well, then why do people do it? Do they get mao?
ไม่เมา
Well, there's the answer to your question. No, they don't get.
Yeah, should go at.
Yeah, you should go ask. You should try one. Let me know how it is. But their whole mouths turn red. You know.
When we go home จะบายสำหรับ
Give to people? Yeah, as presents.
Yeah, presents.
Yeah. It used to be very popular, right? Everybody used to do it. Now, not so much.
Not so much old people.
Yeah. There you go. I'm not going to try it. Jack Clifford asks, are the sarongs one size fits all, or are there fatty sarong for farang, or farang sizes. When you open up one of these sarongs, I should have brought one with us. It's humongous. It's big inside, right? And that's why they wrap it and tie it. So I've seen these on really big people. อ้วนคนอ้วนทำได้ไหม ผู้ชาย Yeah. It doesn't matter how big you are. And they make different size, right? When they make them, are they one size they make, or do they make different sizes?
I see grandma make same size.
No, same size fits all. There you go. But they'll fit big people. Yeah, they're big. Nat could sleep in it as a tent, right? This is from Paul Zeus, which I guess comes from the South, and you'll understand why, because his question is, how are the skeeters? How are the skeeters? You know what a skeeter is, Nat?
Yung.
Yeah, wow, very good. Wait, have you heard me say this? How do you know? Why do you know that? That's interesting. Yeah. How are the skeeters? How are the skeeters in Isaan?
Too much.
Yeah, a lot. But they're when the sun comes up, sunrise, the sun goes down, and nighttime, a lot. Nighttime, there's a lot. All year or sometime?
I'm not sure. Maybe all year.
Maybe all year. I know when we sit out and watch the stars at night, even in the winter, there's some mosquitoes. I got to cover my legs. Predominantly, they're sunrise, sunset. Daytime, no. Nighttime, you'll get them. And so those are the ones at night that carry the malaria. And so if you're outdoors, just wear long pants, long shirts. Usually any place you go in Isaan and you're eating at night, they have the mosquito coil that they put down near you. And if you want mosquito coils at home and you don't want them to be breathing the toxic fumes, they have some that are made out of citronella oil. And you can also burn citronella oil in little, what do you call it? We have oil lamps. And really, citronella oil is lemongrass oil. And they even have spray lemongrass. And so that's non-toxic, doesn't smell bad, and that'll keep the mosquitoes away. But you will encounter them. Now, in places, bigger cities, they have a program where people go around to businesses in streets and everything. They have foggers. And they're like 2-cycle engines. And they have foggers, and they put this fog down into the sewers and anywhere, and it kills the larvae and everything from mosquitoes. So places like Chiang Mai and Cha'am and stuff, a lot of those mosquitoes are killed because they fog these areas that would house the mosquitoes or where they would propagate. So there you go. Hope that answered your question, Paul, about the skeeters. Limitless asks, is standard Thai language widely understood, or is it necessary to learn Isaan? ทุกคนเข้าใจภาษาไทยไหม? Does everybody understand Thai?
Yeah,
Everybody. Old people?
Yes.
Yeah. The only time I've ever encountered people that couldn't understand Thai was actually when I was in Chiang Mai. I went up to an ATM machine, and this lady had her little kid. She was getting money out of the ATM, and I said hello or something to the child, the little kid, and the lady turned to me and said he doesn't understand Thai. He only understood Isaan because he hadn't learned Thai in school yet. And I guess they had come from Isaan. The little kid hadn't studied Thai language, so he spoke the local dialect that he grew up in, so he only understood Isaan. So, in fact, her son, that son, Gagao, he just learned 2 years ago, started learning how to write Thai, right? Yeah, and it was fun watching him learn how to read. Now he's all excited he can actually read in Thai language. Yeah, very cool. Joyce Fisher asks, I have a question about the rice. I noticed some people plant rice in the water, and some just sprinkle some have the seedlings, and they put it in the water, and other people have the seed, and they just throw the seed. I asked Nat about this so I can actually answer this, and Nat said it used to be everybody planted seedlings, but now labor is expensive, and to get the people to come and plant all those seedlings, it's too expensive. And so it's just easier to throw the seed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Easier. And so, and then what they do is after it starts to sprout, they'll see patches that didn't grow or something, they'll come back and throw more seed to try and get an even growth. And so that's why. But the rice is the same rice. No difference in the rice.
But when go up, when we say go up, not so good, not the same. We put in.
Oh, really?
And put in, we have more light. ข้าวเยอะกว่า
Oh, she says the quality of the growth is better if it's a seedling in the water, huh?
ดีกว่าทำพูดอะไร
Okay. Pickle beaker. Say pickle beaker.
Pickle beaker. Name.
Now some people. Now if I spoke Thai the way she just spoke English, some of these YouTubers will get on my butt so bad and say you mispronounce the word and everything. And I'm going to do a whole video about perfection because I think it's interesting concept of how people say that. To me, what she just said was cute. I would never correct her. Say that again. Pickle beaker.
Pickle beaker.
I love it.
ไม่ถูกแล้ว
No, it's good. Perfect. Pickle beaker said, how do you deal with the pollution up there during burning season? Do you leave for 3 months? Now, he said up there. Now, Isaan actually has less of the smoke than the northern, we call northeast, Isaan northeast Thailand. And the north of Thailand is Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Lampang, Mae Hong Son, all that. That's the north. And it actually has worse smoke in the smoky season, dry smoky season, which lasts from about February 15th to April 15th. And so I always suggest to my members is to leave, go on vacation. Some people want to travel back to their home countries during the year, perfect time to get away. Lock the door and go take a vacation somewhere. It's cheap to travel around Thailand. So get on a bus or a train or something, or even a plane, and fly someplace where there's going to be sea breezes or something. I always suggest go down near the water where the air is constantly moving, because places like Chiang Mai are in a basin with mountains surrounding them, and so whatever that smoke gets into that basin sort of sits there. It doesn't move, and there's no rain during that time of year to clean it, to drop it out of the air, and no wind to blow it out. And so now some people don't have an issue about it, but I say if you do have issues with respiratory problems, use I think it's N95 mask, and get a HEPA filter and close up your place with air conditioner and stick it out. But it's a great time to take off. Bangkok bound, BKK bound. BKK is actually the symbol for Suvarnabhumi Airport. So he's BKK bound. What made you choose the van rather than a truck or a car? Tamai mi roto. Tamai mi ro pickup. Why do we have a van and not a pickup truck?
สำหรับไปแคมปิ้ง
Yeah. When I outfitted this thing, the idea, and this was before I even met Nat, was to travel around and do videos and stuff and just see all of Thailand. So I took out the seats and built in, we have a bed/table, folds down to a bed, goes up to a table to work and eat and stuff. We're just changing this now. We're just taking out some stuff we never used. We never used the sink. It became storage. We had too much storage actually at that, and so we didn't have place to put our bags, but we had lots of drawers. And so we're reconfiguring it all. But the whole idea was to be able to travel around and be self-contained, and that's why I chose the van at that point. Koh Samui. He's been around a long time. What a precious little girl. And he says that Nara.
Thank you.
Nara is cute and precious. How well does she speak English? พูดภาษาอังกฤษเก่งไหม
นิดหน่อย เก่งกว่าแม่
She said, a little bit. She speaks better than she does, which isn't true. Nat speaks really good. But the same thing with Nat and with her daughter and all Thai people. I taught English for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years here in Thailand. In this country, and this doesn't apply to other countries, Vietnam or Laos or Cambodia. In this country, people are really afraid to make mistakes and be called out on them. So they're shy, very shy. TI, am I?
Yes.
Yeah, shy to speak in public. And so, but when I get the reports back from Nat that in school, when Danoi goes to spelling bees or gets tested in school, she's like number two. Is that in her class or in school?
From the class.
From her class. How many people are in the class?
Oh, I forget that.
About?
Maybe 20. Maybe.
20 or 30, I think, are in her class, and she's number 2. So she's proficient. A lot of times she'll say stuff that I'm like, what? How did she know that? She'll have listened and learned the context and meaning and how to use it in a sentence just from listening, and then all of a sudden she'll use it in something. She'll say something to me in English, and it's like, how did she do that? So she's pretty good. If she put her mind to it and she actually applied herself, she'd speak really good. And she's good for the accent too, the sound. She gets the sound really well. Tracy Love says, are there snakes where the house is located? They worry about snakes? Me. Now, the snake is a word that is really difficult for foreigners to say because it's got an NG sound. How do you say the word for snake?
No.
Yeah, I never have gotten it right. Isaan Thailand. Go come in the house.
Sometimes come.
Yeah, sometimes they come. You see reports all the time now in the paper because civilization's encroaching on natural habitat. So more and more snakes are being found in automobiles. And coming up, what's really weird, almost every week there was a report for a while, one coming up through a python, coming up through the toilet and grabbing a hold of something it shouldn't have grabbed a hold of and doesn't want to let go. But as far as, Nat and I were in Chumpon and a snake fell off the roof or something that time. Remember eating breakfast in Chumpon and I heard thump. We just done a weekly update for the member site or something. I heard the snake fall off the tree or something. And out in Isaan, we see them all the time, but I've never encountered. Didn't they have a cobra in the house before we built the new house?
Yes, me.
Yeah.
My father killed.
Yeah, your father killed.
We have the dog.
The dogs will always be the warning. This is why it's good to have dogs around. You'll always hear them barking at the snake. They'll find it first, and they'll be barking and bring it to your attention. Then you can deal with it. I wouldn't deal with it. Somebody would deal with it. And the bigger snakes, like the pythons, you actually call. Who is it? Sunambui Boom or whatever it is. They come get the snake. Who gets the snake? Like the big snake they call. Who do they call? There's foundations and organizations that will come. And is it the same people that take the people on the road that are dead?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same foundation. What is it?
We call Paw Tek Tung.
Paw Tek Tung. And they come get the snakes. So you just call them up and they take care of it. Lancashire Lab called me out on something I said in the last video when I was talking about the solar energy. He said 120 kilowatts from the solar panels? Are you sure? That would power a small factory. Perhaps 1.2. And I'm sorry about that. The solar panel is 120 watts that it puts out. And so there you go. That was the answer. And the most asked question of all these videos that were asked the most times was in the last video. You saw me talking about the solar and stuff, and you saw my hand in a cast, a soft cast. And the question was, what happened to your arm? And some people say, did Nat beat you up? What happened? And I won't go into detail about that. All I'll say is a child was being held against their will, and the mother of the child was trying to intervene and was getting assaulted, so I figured it was time for me to step in and resolve the issue. There's a saying I have that says, kill the monster while it's a baby. Before it escalated any further, I figured I felt obligated to intervene, and I did. And I ended up getting what's called a boxer's fracture, which is on the little finger just below the knuckle. And that's what happened there.
And that's all I have to say about that.
So there you go. Hope you've enjoyed this little get-together with Nat and I, and talking and answering some of your questions. If we ever have another series and we get a lot of questions, I'll do the same thing. Anything you want to say?
Say thank you
thanks.
follow.
Yeah, thanks for following us and watching us on our channel. We really appreciate it. We've got a lot of videos coming at you, some already shot, in the can, so to speak. I have things I want to talk to you all about that we'll sit down sort of like this and have conversations. I'm trying to come up with some new ideas to put smaller videos on YouTube, maybe shooting on the fly and uploading them, so they'll only be, a minute or 2 minutes saying something. We're thinking about how to put more content up to y'all quicker. And so, because this editing and stuff takes a lot of time, especially when we're running trying to keep the member site running and take care of our members, because they help take care of the orphanage and the whole infrastructure to keep all this going. So anyway, again, thanks for everything. Remember, there's
Always option.
that's always an option. See you, JC, and that out.
Bye-bye.
Hey, JC here. If you like that video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel here. Also, we have another video up here you're going to be really interested in watching as well. And if you're looking for all the details of how to retire in Thailand in one place, plus a group of people to support you, check this out over here. Give it a click.